Today's date, Thursday, April 29th, 2021. So much is going on in the news as usual. I mentioned before that April is Child Abuse Awareness Month. And unfortunately, you have children still being abused, and there's quite a few stories in the news about children getting hurt or killed. Yeah, I wanted to make a video about child abuse, a long video dedicated to children. But I might not have time today, so I'm gonna save that for a later date. What I'm gonna do right now is talk about a few things in the news about these cops. You got the cop who murdered George Floyd. He was convicted, but there were still police shootings. And police killings. Now, a lot of attention is being put on this case in Columbus, Ohio. 16-year-old girl was shot and killed by a police officer while she was holding a knife. Now, I don't know everything about that case, so I don't want to say too much. Some people said the girl with the knife called the police, and other stuff was said, so I'm not sure. But let me tell you something. Now, I understand that a lot of cops are racist and brutal and corrupt. However, this case in Columbus, Ohio, I had to think about that one, because if I was a police officer and I got a call from dispatch saying that there's a woman with a knife trying to stab somebody, I drive to the scene, I get out of the car, I see an individual, a female, holding a knife, getting ready to stab someone. I don't know if this person was the one who started all this, the aggressor, or she could have been the person who called the police, and at some point she got into a fight with this other girl. Other girl had a knife, and the girl who called the police was able to wrestle the knife from her and use it to defend herself. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's what. So, if I was a police officer and I saw someone getting ready to stab another person, what I might do, there's two things I might do. One thing is, I would make a split decision and shoot the person with the knife in an attempt to save the other person's life. I don't know what's going on. All I see is that someone is trying to stab another one. I need to save the other person from getting stabbed. Now, if I shoot the person, they die, and it turns out that this person I shot was not the aggressor, not the one who started all this, that would be a deadly mistake I would have to live with for the rest of my life. But at the same time, I was trying to prevent someone from losing their life. Now, another thing I would have done if I was a police officer, again, I get out of the car, I see an individual with a knife getting ready to stab another person with that knife. I don't know who that person is. I don't know if they are the aggressor, the antagonist, or they're just defending themselves. I don't know. All I know is that this individual is trying to stab this other individual with a knife. I gotta put a stop to that. So, have my gun drawn, approach both of them. Now, the girl with the knife, she's getting ready to stab another girl. She's focused on the other girl, wearing pink. So me being a police officer, if I was one, looking at that, the girl with the knife, her back, while she's focusing on trying to stab the other person, either her back is towards me or her side is towards me. Either way, me personally, I am not in any physical danger because the person with the knife probably don't even know that I'm there. So what I would have done, I see the other person about to get stabbed. I need to save her life. This girl with the knife, she doesn't see me. I'm not in any physical danger. I'm not in any danger at all. I would have probably shot her in the leg just to disarm her. That way, if she was the aggressor, the one who started all this fights, whatever, she's not dead. She's hurt, but she's not dead. She can be arrested and have her day in court. If it turns out that the person not shot in the leg was just defending herself, like I said before, that's a mistake I would have to live with. But at the same time, I saved someone's life. So, also, as far as giving verbal commands, that's also a possibility. Hey, stop, police, drop the weapon. That's a possibility. If I was a cop, I could use verbal commands to tell the girl to drop the knife. However, and I'm not a crime expert, I'm not a sociologist, anything like that. I'm just thinking, a girl with a knife, anybody with a knife, getting ready to stab another person, the person with the knife is in rage, possibly blind rage. And if I would have gave that girl a verbal command to drop the knife, she probably wouldn't do it because she's either so mad, so pumped up, so focused on the other girl. Maybe she hears me, maybe she won't. If she hears me, she might hear me, but at the same time, it's not registering because she's trying to stab the other person. So just because you give a verbal command does not mean people are going to respond, especially if they're not paying attention. Their mind is on something else. This girl's mind was on stabbing the other girl. I mean, how many times have you seen two boys fighting? Let's just say in a high school, two boys are fighting each other, a fist fight, and an adult steps in, teacher, security guard, whatever, and the adult tries to break up the fight. He grabs one boy and the other boy and try to pull them apart, saying, break it up, you two, stop fighting, break it up. Now, even though the adult is telling the two boys fighting each other to break it up, they're still punching each other. Why? Because they're engaged in a fight. Their mind is set to fighting each other. They're not thinking about breaking up. They're trying to knock each other out. So that's when you got to really pull them apart, because they're not just going to stop just because you told them to stop. That's how it is. So with this girl with the knife, she probably was so enraged that I'm not even sure she would have responded to the verbal command. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But as usual, a case like that gets spread all over the news. However, a lot of people, it seems, have forgotten about Casey Goodson Jr., a young black man who was killed by police. According to reports, he was just on his way home. He was holding a sandwich, maybe two. He had a gun on him. He had a firearm, but he had a permit for that firearm. There wasn't any threat, and yet he got killed by a cop. But nobody's talking about that anymore. They're focusing on the girl who had the knife. Just like with George Floyd, they're focusing on George Floyd, the person who was allegedly using a fake $20 bill, counterfeit money. He's murdered by a cop. That's spread all over the news. However, another young man was murdered by police, Elijah McClain, in Colorado. He was not doing anything at all, yet police murdered him. And nobody's talking about that anymore. All this widespread news coverage and focuses on victims of police killings who were committing a crime or allegedly committing a crime. But all these cases where the victim of a police killing was not doing any crime at all, that's swept under the rug. That's ignored. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy. A cop gets convicted of murdering someone, a black man, and yet you got more cop killings and harassment. I saw on the news yesterday in California, a Hispanic man was killed by cops. They suffocated him, choked him, something. They was on top of him, and they killed him. I want to see that get widespread news. I'm not sure about the situation before that. What was he doing? What was he not doing before the police were called? I'm not sure, but the young man is dead. It's crazy. Very crazy. Well, that's it for now. Be safe, be careful, and protect each other. Take care.